Good morning, my name's David Lee from Dell EMC. I'm a sales specialist in the data protection team in the UK, specialising in the manufacturing district. So, what I want to do today is talk to you about cloud computing, your adoption of it, and what Dell EMC can do to help you on that journey, to help you get there faster and more efficiently. Because we've got a wide portfolio, as you can see, in terms of solutions and products. And we think that we've got pretty much every single angle you could require covered from a Dell solutions portfolio. Okay, so today, I think we're in agreement that probably 5% of your data is in the cloud. And whether that's you putting test and development workloads into the cloud to reduce cost and avoid having to purchase hardware platforms, or maybe you're starting to consume things like software as a service, accounts, HR, maybe you're even starting to look at Office 365 and Salesforce. And over the next 5 years, coming up to 2021, the industry analysts such as ESG and IDC are very confident, based on research, that that's going to increase to 30, maybe even 40% of our workloads going out into public cloud. And why is that? So, we're a manufacturing organisation. It's absolutely about digital transformation and agility as an organisation. And specifically, if I think about car manufacturers, many of the ones that I deal with today, they're opening and closing factories almost at will, depending on where it's economically the best place to build those cars, where the workforce availability is, or where the demand is for those vehicles. So why would you have infrastructure on premise which you've got to invest in? It's hard to scale, it's hard to close down. Cloud makes perfect sense if it's at the right cost point and it's secure. Okay, so what can Dell do? We've got 4 buckets essentially in terms of cloud strategy where we can help you. And the first of those is private cloud. And the reality is, we're not going to shift everything into the cloud day one. Absolutely not. We've got lots of IT on-premise still in our data centers around the globe, which is bubbling away nicely, it's working well, and we can't really get rid of it because it costs not very much money and it's efficient. But what Dell can do and Dell EMC can do to help you is we can help you modernize how you manage that data. We can start to do things where we automate it and we put data on the lowest cost tier of data, with SLAs attached to it, so you can recover it as and when you need to. And we can help you transform your private data centers, even going as far as putting in object storage to reduce the cost, and help you start that journey to the cloud when you need to. And the upshot of private cloud and the services we do around that is we're going to help you reduce cost, and we're going to make things more efficient to help you go on that digital transformation journey. Okay, so private cloud, we know it's not going away. Extend to the cloud is the next use case and the next bucket. Many use cases where we've traditionally played and customers have made massive returns is where they've had traditional IT infrastructure, such as customers even with thousands and thousands of tapes, where they decide to leverage our technology to do long-term retention and push all that data into the cloud. Takes away the management overhead of the tapes, reduces cost, it's secure, and it future-proofs them, and they can do something with that data, which is highly important, that we get value out of old data and new data. And then again, we can change the way that we back up remote offices and branch offices. Do we need infrastructure? If we think of banks, do we need a server and infrastructure in every single office? Can we start to back up things remotely and send it to a cloud provider? Secure it, efficient, the lowest cost of ownership, perfect. And again, the same with laptops and desktops. Absolutely great, we've got a backed up copy traditionally maybe, but what about if we now start to integrate that with a third-party provider such as Dell EMC? You can back up that data on a laptop, send it to a cloud data center somewhere, and you can recover it as and when you need to at a very low cost point. And then other use cases for extend to the cloud, archiving data. Why would we want to keep that on premise on expensive storage when we could potentially move it out into public cloud, much lower cost of ownership, and retrieve the data only when we need to? And innovation is massive to Dell EMC. We're doing things at the moment where, such as yourselves, where you've got 260 remote offices with infrastructure and all of those discrete offices and sites, We've got solutions now where you can have a global file share of all of your data, and it locks files wherever you are in whatever location, allows instant access and securely without having any hardware infrastructure on premise. So why wouldn't you look at new opportunities like that to be more efficient and save money? Okay, the third bucket is in-cloud data protection. So we have lots of line of business applications. Traditionally, customers like you have got SAP, they've got Oracle, they've got SQL workloads, and all of our most critical, mission critical applications run on these databases and app servers. We're starting to move that into the cloud now, and there's actually the performance and there's the opportunity for us to move workloads into the cloud. But key to that is having crash consistent snapshots, having lots of points in time we can go back to so we can recover very quickly if we need to and do it efficiently at the right cost. And architecture absolutely matters in this scenario, because where we do things differently to our competitors is with our infrastructure and the way we design things. For example, data domain is that our deduplication and the way we save data and compress data is 3 times more efficient than most of our competitors. So if you translate that into putting data into the public cloud, Dell EMC only need to store a smaller amount of data and less copies of it. So naturally you're going to be paying people like AWS and Azure a lot less money to do the same thing as some of our competitors. As a service, this is the largest section in terms of where we are starting to move data, and pretty much all of our customers on a whole are starting to look at things like Office 365, we're looking at Google Apps, or we're looking at Salesforce, and moving traditional Exchange infrastructure off into the public cloud. So most of the main vendors, they don't protect data anywhere near to the sort of level that you need to do. So we have solutions and we have software that integrate with those applications, and we can help you back up securely and protect that critical data for you. Moving on from that, you may not want to manage your backups anymore, so why not do backup as a service? Pay a service provider to use our technology to back up your data and then report to you for compliance purposes to say, yes, it's backed up, there it is, and you can retrieve it quickly as and when you need to. And again, the same with disaster recovery as a service. You may not want to invest in a site infrastructure, software solutions and management to keep your DR data. Why not pay a service provider and send all that data into a service provider or a data center using our technology and know-how to protect your data in the event of a disaster? Okay, so as you can see, I've talked you through the 4 pillars, buckets of data protection solutions that we can do to help you, and I think you'll agree there's something to pretty much cover you from all angles. So let's develop that further. We'd like to talk to you about your cloud strategy today and see how we can help you. Thank you.